It's 6:30 and happening today. 3 of our local Congress members will be sworn in.
That includes Darrell Issa, who represents northern parts of our county, as you probably know, as well as southern Orange County. Thanks for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me on, and I am looking forward to Chief Judge Moskowitz doing the ceremony.
Yeah, that's going to be good today. Listen, you have had quite the week, right? You took questions at a rally, you handed out coffee, protesters were putting your face on a cutout of Where's Waldo. Last night they were outside your home, and I know that one of your staff members took questions. What do you want to say to protesters and their concerns?
Well, I mean, I have 750,000 constituents in my district. Obviously, there are some people who would like to continue to say, "Where's Waldo?" if you will. One of the things we did last night is we gave out a list of all the places I've been over the last week, all the rallies, or not rallies, but all the forums I held, large and small, and we invited people. They should have been in Oceanside, standing there at the Veterans Facility as the Chamber awarded 36, if you will, plaques to the best and the brightest Marines and Navy personnel from Camp Pendleton. This was Enlisted Person of the Year ceremony. And I did take some questions there, but I think one of the challenges is, we talked about this before we came back on the air, there has to be a time when you quit campaigning and you go into legislating. And I think it's really important that we be talking, as some people are, about the Affordable Care Act, where the problems are, how we fix it, not a your way or my way, but how do we get something that works better for people's health care needs?
I want to ask you about that because you released a draft that would repeal and replace Obamacare. You say it's bipartisan. Tell us how.
Well, first of all, we have a Democratic co-sponsor scheduled, but second of all, the word repeal seems to be a stumbling block, but the word replace seems to be too. We know that the 6% of Americans who are in the Affordable Care Act, remember, most of us, I am in it, but most people are not in Obamacare. They're in some other plan. But the 6% that are in it are watching it rise in cost much faster than any other part. And the reason is it's failed to attract healthy people. And as more and more sick people by necessity go into it, it's becoming the most expensive solution. So what I'm proposing is a pool that includes the entire federal workforce that are already in it, 10 million people, so we can begin with a affordable opportunity for both people who are sick, but also for small businesses to have an alternative that works. About half of the people that are in Obamacare, half of the 20 million people, are not subsidized, but this could be their only choice if they can't find an affordable program.
This seems to be an issue for some of the protesters who are out this week, the Affordable Care Act and what to do about it. Will you sit down with people to try to hash it out more if there's some people who have a lot of questions?
I think it's important that you can't satisfy these folks, and I'm not trying to be negative because, last night we were giving out cookies and pretzels and pamphlets, but this was a union-led vigil that implied that I hadn't been somewhere when in fact I'd spent the entire week with 5 and 6 meetings a week, including the vast majority of people that were there last night were at my office and went through 90 minutes of questions and answers live on television. So I think we have to separate, are you answering the questions, are you listening, from are you satisfied? And I'm not going to satisfy everyone. We're going to have to come together. We're going to have to find compromise. Let's remember, we're not going to throw out health care, much of which is subsidized by the government. But at the same time, we cannot continue to simply throw money at a problem when we're not fixing our Tri-Cities in my district, Tri-City Hospital. They haven't had a drop in emergency room visits. They haven't seen the promises. And if we keep the epidemic of people coming to emergency rooms as their primary care, we're going to have a problem. During this week, I also visited the Vista Community Clinic.
I got to stop you there, Congressman. We're out of time.
They need parts of this act to continue to be there if they're going to provide services.
Okay, Congressman Darrell Issa, I know it's going to be a busy day for you today. Thanks for being here.
Thank
You're very
you.
welcome.